Welcome to another episode of my Stitch Diaries. Now I'm kicking this video off with a Mandy Shaw. Ooh, I just knocked something off then. A Mandy Shaw, I say unboxing, unpackaging. Right, so obviously if you are in the Mandy Shaw Secret Society, it's a red work embroidery club, but we get various things in it. If you haven't had yours yet, don't watch this video now, come back another time. Now before I open it, I want to show you something else that I've just opened that's come through the post. Actually, my auntie sent something as well, not craft related, but maybe I'll show it you, and I'll tell you what I've been making. And I have been doing some little bits of footage. I did a little bit of video during the knitting of the chicken. Now do you remember me saying to you I wanted to knit a chicken because one of my beloved hens had to be put to sleep? And thank you so much for all your kind comments on my last video. It's very much appreciated. Well, I've actually finished my hen. Well, I say finished. If I go by the pattern, there is more that you can add to this hen. It's knitted, but you do some embroidery on the eyes, you crochet the beak, you crochet the comb, and you also crochet all these feather bits on. But I don't think I want the feather bits on. I've made the chicken so far, and I think I'm really happy with where we are. So I'll bring the chicken into the video. She's upstairs at the moment. So things that have come through the post, I'll just grab the one. This is not craft related, but my auntie sent me this. Now, do you remember me saying to you, I think it was in my previous videos, about all my cousins being like much older than I am? And basically the only cousin that I had, I've got cousins that are much younger on my dad's side, but the only cousin that I had that was of similar age to me was my cousin that's a boy that's 10 months younger. And my auntie actually she found a photograph of us both and she said, would I like it? And it's actually come through the post today, and she sent me a note: with love, Auntie Karen. So now I will warn you, my fringe in this photograph looks rather strange, and it's because I'd cut my own hair, and I'd balded myself up to here, and then my mum had to basically bring lots of my hair forward to cut a fringe basically. Yes, I've got this very short fringe, but you can still see some short bits underneath. But this is my cousin Wayne and myself when we were small. So yeah, my mum's done a good job at hiding the damage that I did. There are some funny photographs of me around about that age. Actually, there's one of me when I'd the hair was even shorter, eating an ice cream, a 99 with a flake, and you know, the way I'm eating it, it's like barbaric how I'm eating this ice cream, and the flake is up my nose. Yeah, so I think I was a little bit of a monkey. I think I have been nicknamed quite a few names when I was a child, and monkey was one of them because I used to like to climb. So that came through today, so that was lovely to get. I'm thinking of actually framing that. I'd really like to put that in a frame of my cousin and I. And he's got 3 boys also. Him and his wife had twin boys, and they're basically about a week or two but a difference in age to my youngest son. But unfortunately we haven't spent a great deal of time together, despite the boys being the same age, and they went on and had another boy after. So so between us we've got 6 boys, and my cousin and I, we were actually only children. So yeah, and then we've gone on and had 3 children. So, and the other thing that's come through the post, now Deborah contacted me and she saw my picture of Dobby. Now if you follow me on social media, you'll have seen my lunar lapping armchair that I made for Lunar Lapping the rabbit, and a picture of Dobby sitting on it. Right, I'll pop that photograph in for you to see. Now Deborah commented on it and she said, would you like a pattern for a teeny tiny sock? She said it's about 5 centimetres, and that has come through today, so thank you so much. She signed it Debs, so I don't know if you prefer to be called Debbie or Debs, I don't know, but thank you so much. So I'm going to be knitting a teeny tiny sock, and I need some 4-ply sock yarn. Well, I actually won a little tiny ball of sock yarn in a yarn shop that has closed down now, and I might use that actually, so thank you so much, Deborah. I'll be knitting that up. I have actually cast on something else. I'm actually knitting another Easter ball, because if you've seen my recent videos, you'll see that I've knitted 2 of the Arnie and Carlos Easter bunnies from their Easter book, and the hare egg, Easter egg. Well, now the chicken is from that same book, and now I want an egg with a chicken on it, so that will be coming soon. I've worked the bottom, I've worked all the increases from the bottom of the egg, and I'm on the straight bit now where I'm working a pattern. Just started the pattern there in the last night actually, so that is what I'm working on. Now, I told you in my last video that I'm going to be working on Hamish. Did I say I was working on Hamish? I can't remember now. Well, today what I've done is I've photocopied the pattern pieces from I like to keep the ones I get as a master copy, so I've photocopied those, so I will be spending some time basically cutting those out, and that's Hamish. That's the booklet. I haven't looked in the booklet yet. So that's always the first thing I do when I start one of these animals. The first thing I do is photocopy the pattern pieces, and then I often sit in front of the TV in the evening cutting the pieces out, and then when I get time again in the day, I'll come and sit in here. I know my husband's going to be watching football. I think he's watching football at 2 o'clock, so I might actually start doing some of that actually, and maybe cut the pattern pieces out for Hamish. Right, hang on, bear with me. I'm just going to get myself a drink, and then I'm going to come back and I'm going to open this. So we're back in 1 minute. Right, I'm back. I've just spoken to my husband, and he has got football on in the kitchen, but it's not Liverpool. He said, I thought he's watching football at 2, and he said, no, that's tomorrow, Liverpool. So, but he's watching football anyway, doing something on his computer. But so yes, Hamish maybe. Well, that'd be quite good actually, because I could cut all the pattern pieces out tonight, and then I'll be a little bit further along before the football's on. So maybe I'll sit in here tomorrow and I'll do some sewing. So hopefully, so I'm not going to finalise this video now. Maybe I'll have done some Hamish before I finish this video, or maybe even completed him. This is basically part 1 of this episode, so I will be coming back. That's why I haven't got my chicken here or anything, you know. So this is just opening things. I'm working on letter L of this Secret Society project at the moment. So, yeah, I've got a few to catch up on. Do you remember me saying I've got one piece of fabric that's too small? So that's another thing I want to do in here. I want to have a sort through my Secret Society things. I don't want to run the risk of losing some of the letters. That's the thing I fear of doing, actually, when I don't keep up with the projects. Now, I can smell something very minty, and there is something minty in here. There's some polo sweets, polo mints. Now, I haven't had these since I was a teenager. I used to buy these when I used to pass the shop on the way to the bus stop, and I used to get the bus to school. And yeah, I haven't had them probably since I was a teenager, so I'll look forward to having one of those. Now, I can see a little project in here, and I'm really quite excited about it. It looks like we're going to be doing a quilted red work purse, because I can see a sewing frame in here. How lovely is that? And look, there's an iron-on transfer here. Now, actually, what's really funny, the L that I'm working on at the moment, that's the exact same design that I'm actually currently stitching. Now, I'm only doing the stitching of that when I'm in the car waiting for my son to come out of school, and I'm actually listening to Harry Potter, the Philosopher's Stone on Audible. I have read all the Harry Potter books many years ago, but obviously it's a distant memory, some of the information, so I'm listening to them on Audible while stitching in the car, just while I wait for him to walk round to us. So that's lovely. Obviously there might be a picture of that in this book, so I'll show you that in a moment. Now, this secret society thing, it's not something people can just jump in on at any time in the year, but if you like the kind of thing that we get in this, you can sign up to it. It will start up again maybe in June, so maybe look out for it, you know, this year. Maybe sign up to Mandy's emails. We'll get notified about it first because we're members anyway, but then it will go out to the general public. Right, this is the January package, and in this month's blocks we're going to be doing P and Q. Mind you, P's and Q's, that's saying. So there's a little picture of those there, and P is for patchwork, Q is for quilting. And what's quite nice is the red work design very much looks like patchwork pieces as flying geese, and is that called a Ohio star, some kind of patchwork star. And on the quilting one, they've actually used a popular quilting look. It's like the feathered look on there, so that's nice, isn't it? And there is a picture of the purse, and it's quite long and slender actually. Can you see that? So that's what the project we've got this time. Now, I've been having a little bit of a sort out in here today, and I actually came across a project from this year's Secret Society that I haven't done, and it's basically a fabric pot holder. So there's going to be some things I need to catch up on. Now, I am considering not re-signing up to the Secret Society next year, because what I think I might do is spend a year, I've done this before, spend a year catching up on the things that I haven't completed, so I don't feel as under pressure now and desperate I've got to get these done, because I can do them as and when, can't I? So, but I am working on them, I'm not ignoring them, but I'm going at a slow pace, because sometimes I'll work on them in the evening, but I'm knitting in the evening at the moment. So, and there's a recipe this month called peanut butter pie, and there is a picture. I've never had a peanut butter pie, so I don't know what that is like. Use Twix bars and peanut butter, full fat cream cheese, icing sugar, whipping cream and mini peanut butter cup sweets to decorate. Okay. Oh, so Mandy's saying her calendar for this year. She said have a look at the calendar and see if we can meet up. Ah, right, okay. So she's left, she said she's going to be around doing things around the country. So she's going to be on, she's going to be on Sewing Street TV with John Scott on the 30th of January. She's going to be at a textile exhibition in Hailsham, February the 26th. She's going to be at the Stitchtopia Festival, March the 18th to the 20th. Now, as far as I know, the Stitchtopia Festival, from what I remember, I don't think it's just something people can just buy this little ticket and turn up. I think it's a big event where you pay quite a bit to go to it. I might be wrong, but that's what I think it is. She's getting a fabric collection released in March. She's doing a river cruise in April, the 23rd of April to the 29th. So obviously I won't be going on that. Not in my situation. And she's going to a Glastonbury Arts and Music Festival in June. And she's going to the Festival of Quilts in July. Now that's something I am able to attend, as long as I'm not on holiday or anything. And she's going on a Vietnam textile holiday, which obviously that would be an expensive thing to go on, in September. So out of all those things, I think the only thing I could probably see Mandy at would be the Festival of Quilts. So that's if I attend this year. So yeah, it all depends on where I'm at, basically, if I end up attending. But there you go. So that is that. So those are the fabrics we've got this month to make those blocks that I showed you, the P and the Q. And we've got the iron on transfer, which are here. That's the size that they are. So basically we do applique pieces for the letters, and then we do red work for all the other pieces. So that is a lovely, all I can smell is mint. It's really lovely, actually. So that is what we got in our Secret Society. I'll put that down in a moment. Secret Society this month. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to leave filming at the moment and go away. I'm going to get a few bits done, and then I'll come back to you and I'll show you what basically I've managed to achieve before I finalise this video. I don't know if there's going to be any bits in between. I have been doing a bit of the bookmaking. I never took a bit of footage of that, but I'm hand stitching the binding up now, because I've done the machine sewing and I've done about that much, and it's A4 long, and I've done about that much, and it's going to take ages, so it's just going to be a bit of a slow burner, and when I'm in the mood for doing it. So anyway, thank you so much for joining me so far, and don't go anywhere, and I'll see you in the next bit. Welcome back to the final part of my video. Now, if all has gone to plan, you've just seen a little snippet of a few things that have been going on this week, and you will have seen my chicken, which I'll talk about in a moment. And if you follow me on social media, you might have had a few sneaky peeks of what else I've been making, which I will reveal shortly. Now, if you follow me on Instagram, you will have seen a little tiny snippet of me doing some ice skating. Now, normally when I post things on Instagram, it then goes over to my Periwinkle Cottage Crafts, so I don't have to post them twice. But I think it's because the way I posted it, it didn't go over to Facebook. So if you follow me on Facebook and not Instagram, you won't have seen it. And what it is, there's something called a reel, and that's spelled R-E-E-L, and I've never done a reel before. Now, if you've ever seen sewers on Instagram where they're kind of dancing around and they've got some fabric and they click their fingers and then they're in the outfit that they've made out of the fabric, I think that's a reel. But I don't do that kind of thing. But I thought, well, I'll have a go at this reel. because I wanted to post this video, and it was why I did it that way is it was my coach had filmed me on the ice, just a couple of snippets, and she does it in portrait, and you can actually post reels in portrait mode. But if I'd have included it, say, in my YouTube, it would have been this tiny little box in the middle. It'd be a bit weird. So if you want to see that, maybe check me out on Instagram. I'm Claire Who Makes Things, with underscores between all the words, with the at the beginning. So I'm going to show you what I've been making. Now I think there's some things that you wouldn't have seen any sneaky peeks of, and there is actually something I've made that I've not shared, and I'm going to hold back till February just because of how much I've managed to achieve lately. I think I've got enough to show you as it is. Now, if you follow me on social media, you'll have seen this make last night, and it actually is my Hamish the Highland cow, and it's a cool crafting pattern, and I was gifted it by Paula, which I revealed in my video, so thank you very much again, Paula. And yeah, I was very excited to open the Hamish kit, and I didn't want to wait too long because I wanted to get Hamish done for Burns night. So basically, Burns night was yesterday. Now what I did, I took my youngest son to school and my middle son to college. I then hit the shops, got a few bits of food, came home, I spent the morning prepping food, laying out the tartan placemats and things ready for later, and then the afternoon, as well as other jobs, I was on a mission stitching Hamish, and luckily, because I'd done a lot of the food preparation, after I'd picked them up from school, I still had a bit of time where I didn't need to do any cooking. I could spend a bit of time sewing him. Now, I was having a bit of a giggle sewing him, because you have to sew on this hair from the back and then flip it over, a bit like a toupee. And all I was thinking is Donald Trump. Now you'll see what I mean. Now, I'll share the photograph I put on social media first. So that's the photograph I shared last night. And here he is. Now, he hasn't got any clothes. Now, my youngest son absolutely loves him, right? And he has messed up his hair. He said the way I'd styled his hair makes him look like Donald Trump. And my son's kind of done this with it, made it a bit crazy. But I'd kind of swept it forward because that's the way it wants to go. And then because I didn't want it too much in his eyes, I kind of sweet right. So that's why I think my son is accusing me of making him look like Donald Trump because of how I was styling his hair, but I'll mess it up again. And he's got the same fur on his tail as well, so he's so much fun. He's got a button here, button on his legs. His legs do move. He's got these lovely fringy bits on his ankles and his wrists, and he's got buttons on his arms. Now, what happened is, you might notice he's got quite big eyes. Now, he wouldn't have had such big eyes. Now, in the kit, you get 2 beads, but I wanted to use safety eyes. So I use my, Vario pliers to make holes to put the safety eyes in, and with one of the eye was just going through the hole, so I had to take them out, which is a bit of a nightmare, put a bigger set in, and it was still doing it on the one eye. I just don't know why the hole just come out bigger than the other one. I think maybe it was the angle that I cut it, because it was quite awkward to get the Vario pliers in there. So he's ended up with real big eyes, but I think it just makes him look even cuter, doesn't it? Now, unfortunately, Hamish doesn't have any clothes yet, because obviously I wouldn't normally share these animals on social media until I've made their clothes, but I wanted him for Burns night, and I still think he looked adorable naked and sitting on one of my tartan placemats that I made one of the years. Now, so this year I didn't have to do as much Burns night prep, because I've been making things other years, and I made quite a number of things. If you watch my January Vlogmas not vlogmas. Oh, I'm still saying vlogmas. What was I calling them now with the stitch diaries? What was I calling them? Sew and Tell, was it maybe? I don't know what I was calling my series of videos January a year ago, but I was doing a lot of prep leading up to it because I've made so many things for Burns Night. I didn't need to make too much, but I just wanted something new, and this was it. Now, Burns Night didn't quite go to plan. Now, last year was it went a little bit better because we got the table out in the conservatory because we'd had that last minute Christmas dinner that we had to have at home because of COVID, so we'd had to set up that table, and it was still set up so I could lay this lovely table out in advance. We had a big roast dinner, and we had a vegetarian haggis, and we all sat round and told jokes and had a lovely time, and there was a thick blanket of snow outside. It was just magical, and for some reason I don't remember it being a school day, but it fell on a school day this year, which felt a bit strange. It fell on a Tuesday evening, so surely it would have been Monday if it was last year, but I don't know, maybe they were snowed off school or something, but I just remember we was all at home. And basically what had happened is we're going to be having an extension, and we will be going, it will basically, at the worst case scenario, at one point we'll only end up with 2 bedrooms in the house because we're having to knock one room down completely that's currently being used as a bedroom, and the smallest bedroom, the box room where my eldest son is, that's going to be exposed at some point, so we'll be literally down to 2 bedrooms for 5 people. So it's going to be a bit of a nightmare. We could do with moving out altogether, but Mum and Dad have came to the rescue. Rather than us all having to move out and that expense and everything, they've basically done out my old bedroom, and they said if anybody needs to go and stay there, they're welcome to go and stay. So it means, you know, we wouldn't all have to move out because our bedroom's not going to be disturbed. I'm a middle son's bedroom's not going to be disturbed. It's only the youngest and the eldest. So there is a bedroom, and they only live round the corner, so it's not so bad. Anyway, they've done out this bedroom, gorgeous, and we don't have to move anybody in there at the moment, just temporarily, just to sleep there. But my eldest son is that excited about it because this room is bigger than the bedroom he's got at the moment. He's like, oh, I want to go around and stay there for a bit. I was like, oh, okay. So he was busy putting the headboard. He's been helping my dad. He's been putting the wardrobes up. He's put the bed up. That they're all going to probably all have a sleep in. Maybe my middle son won't need to go around there, but someone will have to sleep in there at some point. So so my eldest, he's put the headboard on. So while we were having dinner, he was round there. He said, "Can you save it?" And my youngest son, he's had his COVID jab at school and he really wasn't feeling very well. So he said, could I have my dinner in bed? So I actually cooked some dinner for him earlier and gave him his dinner in bed because he felt so awful. And then by the time we sat down to have our Burns Night dinner, he was actually asleep. My eldest son was round at my mum and dad's, so it was just the 3 of us. So it really wasn't the same as it was the year previous, unfortunately. But there you go. It just happens sometimes, doesn't it? So, but Hamish was there. He got to join us for our Burns Night dinner, and Hamish is going to be getting some clothes, and I definitely think he needs something tartan. Now, I was thinking a kilt, which I still could do, but then I'm kind of tempted. Do you know those trousers I made for Eric? I've moved them all. Where have I moved them to? Oh, they're in here. Right, hang on. Bear with me. Basket of fun. Look at this. Right, let me just get Eric out. Now, I was thinking I could make Hamish some trousers like this with the box box top kind of thing on them, and but for Hamish and Tartan. So what do you think? I think that would look rather nice. Let me put that back up there. As you can probably see, I've dressed for the occasion. I've got some tartan on today, and I'm not Scottish, by the way. My dad is Irish, and a number of his family, basically his sisters, moved to the Isle of Arran, which is a little isle off off Scotland, off mainland Scotland, and they lived there for many years. Now, one auntie has actually moved back down. She now lives in Stratford upon Avon, but her family, she brought her youngest daughter with her, but the older ones, they've got families of their own, so they still are on the Isle of Arran, and there are some of the family that now have moved on to mainland Scotland, so we have got some links with Scotland. I mean, to Scottish weddings and things. So that's where, it all comes from. I try to make life as fun as I can for my family, and it does really brighten up a dreary January. Now, it's all been going on basically, since I've last sat in front of the camera. Obviously, I've been hand stitching, machine stitching, I've been hand embroidering, I've been knitting, I've been crocheting. It has all been going on. Now, there's a little bit of good news on the Mandy Shaw Secret Society embroidery. Now, I've been telling you that I've been stitching the L. This might be November's package. I can't quite remember, but this is how far I've got. I've just got a few more hearts to stitch and some little kisses, and I've got to do the applique L. So that is just what I'm sitting on when I'm in the car. I actually take it when I pick up my son while I'm hanging around, and then I'll just do a bit of stitching. Now, I will admit, I nearly took it out the door yesterday, and then I decided not to because I thought, oh gosh, I'm leaving it a bit late. But I actually was sitting in the car 10 minutes before he walked round to me. So actually, I wish I'd have taken it with me, and I might have even got another couple of hearts stitched in that 10 minutes, who knows. So yes, I'm definitely going to take it out on the school run today. The good news is, one of the other block, I think in that month, I told you that my fabric piece wasn't big enough. These are all the ones I haven't done yet. I've basically got the pieces of fabric, and I've got all the iron-on transfers, and I've tried to match them up. So one of the pieces of fabric was actually, one of the designs in one of the months after was actually smaller, so I've managed to match that small piece up. So now I've got all ones that will fit. Now, this is the small piece of fabric that wouldn't fit one of those ones. Well, look at this one. For organise, I have to read it backwards. Organise is quite small, so luckily this small piece that came in one of the other months actually will fit this. So I'll be able to do all of them now. So it's just getting my head down and doing them, because obviously doing them on the school runs, they're a bit of a slow burner. I probably could do with putting my knitting and crocheting down and just cracking on and catching up with those, really. So now, something I've knitted since I've last seen you and spoken to, well, I think I'd actually done it when I last spoken to you on this film, but I didn't have it with me. But I've knitted another egg, so I've got a whole basket of loveliness here. Right, this is a basket. I just love these baskets, are fun. So you have recently seen some of these makes. There's Magnus the mouse, there's the knitted bunnies, there's my doll that I made ages ago, but I've been making some changes and knitted some socks. Well, I've got, and you've seen the egg, the hare egg, which is from the book. The bunnies are from that book as well, Arnie and Carlos Easter knit. Now, so I've gone on. Now, you will have heard me say that I lost a chicken recently, didn't I? We had to have her put to sleep, and it was really pretty devastating. So I've gone on and made this chicken as a little, I always do this when I've lost a chicken. I've gone on and I've made one. So I have taken a photograph of this chicken inside the book, so I'll pop that on the screen. I haven't shared that on social media. I think I've shared it in a Facebook group, but I don't think I've shared it on my actual social media group, you know, Instagram or anything yet. So here she is. Now she's lovely. Now the eyes I've embroidered. This is knitted on DPNs, and it's Arnie and Carlos out of this book. But the beak is crocheted and the comb is crocheted, and she's supposed to have all these crochet feathers all over her body. But once I'd finished her, I really liked her just as she is. I didn't feel like I needed all those feathers all over her. I'll just show you. You probably have seen it in the picture, but let me try and find a photograph of it. Now she does look adorable, look. See all those feathers? They're crocheted. Now they do look fabulous, don't they? But in all honesty, I just really liked her as she is, and she's lovely. Now the only thing I find a little bit bizarre about this pattern, now the only thing I do sometimes struggle with Arnie and Carlos patterns, like I am a massive fan of theirs, I love them, I've got a number of their books. Sometimes with the crochet I get a little bit confused, because sometimes I think they've used English crochet and sometimes I think they've used American crochet. So from book to book I can't really make out, unless it has SC, which means single crochet, that's American, that means double, that would be DC in England, a double crochet, then I know that they've used American English. But sometimes I'm a bit confused in the older books, especially. Sometimes I think, is it American? So yeah, so it was a little bit confusing. So I don't know if I've done the beak correctly entirely, and I don't really know if I've done the comb correctly, because I'm really not sure. And there wasn't any instructions for the eyes, but I just kind of did a bit of embroidery, did a bit of a circle, and then a knot in the middle. But I absolutely love her. I'm really, really delighted. Now, I was playing yarn chicken with this, because I did think, am I going to run out of yarn? And luckily I didn't run out of yarn. I did manage to achieve it, but while I was knitting her I wasn't entirely sure, so I ordered some of this yarn, and it turns out I didn't need it, but I'm so happy because I've got it for other projects. Now I have used this yarn before. Now I've used it initially, what I bought it for was this owl. That's why I've got this owl here. It's the owl I made for my son. I let him choose something when he was in hospital, when he had surgery. I think I made the glasses a bit too big actually. So, but this is the same yarn but knitted on bigger needles. But he's fab, isn't he? Sorry, I can't remember the designer, but it is on my, if you look back on my Instagram down, I would have said it was in a magazine, knitting magazine. Well, I use that same yarn on my Christmas puddings. So I've managed to get that owl out of the 100-gram ball. I've managed to get this chicken, 5 Christmas pudding, Terry's chocolate orange covers, and I had a little bit left to spare. So I did rather well out of it. But I've now got 2 balls of it because I was panicking. And the reason I bought 2 is because this seller had 2, and it's really hard to get. It's the Stylecraft Life DK, it's called. I thought it was called Stylecraft Special Life DK, but it's just called Life DK, and it's not got the special. It's basically 75% premium acrylic, 25% wool, and it's really hard to get that colour. That colour is bark, and yet I was really struggling to find that colour on all the big shops that I know. But yeah, so I'm glad I've got it. I got it from Miss Gregory, but there's no point me saying because she hasn't got any more. I had the last 2 balls, unfortunately. Well, anyway, go back to these. Now, when I knitted the bunnies, I knitted the hare egg, and when I knitted the chicken, I wanted a chicken egg. So I'll see if I can find this egg. There it is. Now they've knitted it in green and white, and then a little yellow chip. I've done mine a slightly different colour. and that's mine. It's in like a more of a muted bluey green colour, would you say? And I've done a bright orange beak. They'd done red, and they'd done a little red tuft on the top, like a comb, but I didn't put that because obviously I'm a chicken keeper, and I know that chicks, when you first have them, they don't have that little comb, do they? They're just fluffy little things, so I wanted to keep mine. So there's 4 chicks all the way around. Now what I would say about the pattern is the eggs have come out slightly different. Now it could be because I've overstuffed, but what I'd say is with this one I followed the written chart. Like, I was following the colour work, but I followed the written chart. And with this one, I didn't even look at the written chart, I just followed the chart. And when I was comparing them, it does work out slightly different. It's slightly longer if you follow the written one, because I actually labelled if I show you I photocopied it and I've crossed it out. I actually number all the way up what row I'm on. So the first row is they class as a cast on row. I numbered them, and then it doesn't tally up with the book what that chart says. It actually, you carry on a bit longer, height that taller if you work off the chart. So so it did come out like not a bit like thicker at the top, not as lean at the top, if you know what I'm saying. I think I like the shape of that a little bit more, but it could be a little bit to do with stuffing like crazy, but you can manipulate these things anyway. But yeah, I'll be looking forward to sharing these on my social media. I really love photographing things. Sometimes I do leave it a while, but I think the hen looks really lovely. She's got these lovely big wings, and she can hold on to her eggs, look, can't she? Oh, I'm catching her foot. Hold on to her eggs like this. So yeah, I think I'm going to have lots of fun taking some photographs with her. So I'll pop those in there. So is there anything else I want to show you? So plans. Right, I have started crocheting something, and as I say, I've knitted something, but I'm going to wait till February to share that with you. Yes, I have been crocheting something, and then I'm going to tell you what my next video is going to have. Now, this is a Toft pattern. It's the Toft Daffodil, and they call it Crow Your Own, short for Crochet Your Own. And so far, this is what I have. So I think it's going to be a bit like, you're going to be doing the yellow. It's basically a crochet daffodil monster, right? So it will have legs and arms basically, and a body and a head. I think you do the yellow, you work down to the green body, and then do arms and legs. Then you work up a cup for the face. Do you know, like how the daffodil's got the cup, and then you work all the petals and you attach it to this. But that's what I gather, but that's as far as I've got. That's what I did last night. So that's how it's looking. So yeah, it's looking a little odd, isn't it? Yeah. So, but there you go. But yeah, it felt rather strange actually, because I've done so much knitting lately. It felt a little bit odd going back to crochet actually. It didn't feel as natural as it was before Christmas, when I was like crocheting sprouts and crocheting, what else was I crocheting? All those little Christmas Layla little things and stuff, but that was crocheting very tiny actually. So that is what's going on at the moment. I'm crocheting something, and I'm doing some hand embroidery, and obviously I don't know what else I'm going to be making, but I did have something delivered. Hang on, let me just stop this video and I'll come back. Right, for a year I was in the Sew Over It VIP pattern club thing. It's basically a small fee that you pay at the start of the year. It wasn't all that much in all honesty, but it just means you hear about the new patterns before everybody else, and you get a chance to buy them at discount. But in all honesty, I didn't buy any of them all year, and you get a code to basically purchase a pattern with your membership, and it was all year and I just didn't purchase anything. So I haven't rejoined this year, but they said if you don't use your code, you're going to lose it. So I thought, well, I need a pattern quickly because I'm entitled to one for free. So I added an extra £2 to it, and I managed to get the pattern coming well, not the pattern, just I've got to download the instructions, but I've got the actual pattern pieces to cut out, and they're here, and it is the Sew Over It Emma dress. Now I don't know when I'm going to be making that. I don't know if I've got fabric to make it, but it was just a bit of a desperate thing I had to do because I was owed this code. And now, speaking about codes, I do have to use 2 other codes before the 31st of January, and those are the Crafty So-and-So ones, the ones I got in my advent calendar. I'm yet to claim those as well. And next video, right, all well and good, I'm taking you on a trip. Now basically I have purchased a dressmaking pattern from Guthrie and Garney. It's a sewing shop in Moseley. It's about 20 minutes drive away from me, and basically I could have had it delivered to my house, or you can click and collect for free. I just collect it and then you won't pay the postage. So I've done that so I can take you to Guthrie and Garney. That is my plan. So that's what you're going to see hopefully in my next video. So I might have to make sure I'm not filming anything else, because obviously I have to watch how much volume of footage I have on my phone. I have to think about the uploading and saving videos and things. So yeah, so once this video goes up, I won't film anything until I go over there, and that's the next video you're going to see, a little outing. So I'm really looking forward to sharing that with you. So I really hope you've liked seeing what I've been making recently, and yeah, and I'll be back with you soon. I'm just trying to desperately think, is there anything I need to tell you? I don't think so. Yeah, so that, I don't think that I know I'll say something when I go. I'll think, oh, there was something. So anyway, so thank you so much for coming and watching my videos time and time again. I really appreciate the people that watch all my videos, or even some of my videos, you know, and you like them and comment on them and subscribe to my channel. It's so much appreciated, because it really makes me want to do this and makes it worthwhile for me to sit down and have people to speak to that enjoy seeing them. So thank you once again, and I'll see you at Guthrie and Garney. Bye.